Hello, and top of the morning to ya, and welcome back to my channel. I'm your host Onion without an H. So, here's the new intro I've recorded. So today, it's a bit different from regular scheduled video. You see, I was writing a script for this 5th episode, but man, this topic I chose was heavy, like a neutron star kind of heavy, so I'm nowhere near close to completion. But fear not, because I have something to talk about today anyway, as always it seems. But hey, that's me. My interests are quite vast. So like every 2 or 3 years, my interest in this thing called number station awakes. So what exactly is a number station, you ask? Well, let me quote Wikipedia. A number station is a shortwave radio station characterized by broadcast of formatted numbers, which are believed to be addressed to intelligence officers operating in foreign countries. Most identified stations use speech synthesis to vocalize numbers, although digital modes such as phase shifting and frequency shifting, as well as Morse code transmissions, are not uncommon. Most stations have set time schedules or schedule patterns. However, some appear to have no discernible pattern and broadcast at random times. Stations may have set frequencies in the high frequency band. Number stations have been reported since at least the start of World War I and continued in use today. Amongst amateur radio enthusiasts, there is an interest in monitoring and classifying number stations, with many being given nicknames to represent their quirks or origins. So this is a quick rundown of what number stations are. Real-life spy activity. Not rolling up with a fancy car, an expensive watch, fancy gadgets and in tux with a beautiful lady by side, James Bond kind of stuff, but real gritty spy stuff. Or that's what enthusiasts think at least. The truth is, nobody really knows. It's been around for over 100 years. Some of them are broadcast in English, quite many in Russian, some Chinese, some in Korean, some Spanish, and some in Morse code. Basically, all those biggest languages are represented. So you may be wondering, but you are sending this message over the open air. Anybody could tune in and listen to those messages. Well, yeah, you are totally correct. So how does it work then? 3 words, one-time pod. So now I guess you are wondering what exactly is this one-time pod thing. So let me quote Wikipedia for you once again. In cryptography, the one-time pod or OTP is an encryption technique that cannot be cracked, but requires the use of a single-use pressure key that is larger than or equal to the size of the message being sent. In this technique, a plaintext is paired with a random secret key. Then each bit of character of the plaintext is encrypted by combining it with the corresponding bit or character from the pod using modular addition. The resulting ciphertext will be impossible to decrypt or break if the following 4 conditions are met. 1. The key must be at least as long as the plaintext. 2. The key must be random, enter a sample from non-algorithmic chaotic source such as hardware random number generator, patternless according to Gregory Kiting definition, and lots of math jargon here. You can pause the screen if you're curious, but it must be really random. Alright? 3. The key must never be reused in whole or in part. 4. The key must be kept completely secret by the communicating parties, obviously. So let me illustrate how this works. So first of all, you assign numbers to each letter, right? So let's say that you want to send hello. it's nice to be friendly. Now, hello in this case, 72, 69, 76, 76, and 79, right? So both sender and the receiver, they both have pre-shared key. In this case, 67, 76, 73, 67, and 83. Now, you add those two values and you get 139, 145, 149, 143, and 162. And that you broadcast. Now, the receiver, they take note and then subtract those numbers from the pre-shared key and you get back hello. Pretty incredible, isn't it? So this method was invented in 1882 by a man called Frank Miller, and after 140 years, it still works. It's pretty incredible if you ask me. Okay, so after the one use, you must discard the used OTP at once. So it could be made with a very flammable material like paper soaked in oil or chewing gum or something edible. Well, everything edible if you try hard enough, or like water soluble, basically glorified TP. Again, really spy stuff. It makes me think of Mission Impossible and that this message will self-destruct in and go dun 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 dun, with an intro music blasting kind of deal. It's so... I don't know how to put it in this day and age, the age of the internet, and somehow this low-tech, I dare say vintage tech, still lives on. It has been so effective. Nobody has ever cracked it via brute force. And talking about vintage tech, some of these stations still use, get this, Windows XP. I guess in the year 2083, they will be using Windows ME or Vista. And this goes without saying, but basically no government has ever acknowledged the existence of those stations. Aside from Poland, Sweden and former Czechoslovakia, it is very hush-hush. Despite many people are aware of its existence, and we are the general public, we don't know what they are broadcasting. They could be sending orders about deletion of someone, so to speak. Or it could just be someone complaining about the price of canned beans at Tesco. And we won't be wiser. And get this, you might think that everything is automated and nobody is actively working at those places. Well, think again. There have been times you could hear people actually talking in the background, laughing, and local radio station playing music. It means that there are several people actively engaged in the operation, but somehow no solid information has ever surfaced from within. So as long as you have equipment, you can broadcast whatever you want, but without a proper license, then you are operating a so-called pirate radio. And by definition, number station is a pirate radio. And I can assure you, if you are running a pirate radio, government will crack down on you sooner or later. Also, those radio signals need powerful antennas. Now, some of those number stations have been up and running for decades. So we know that some powerful entities are behind the operation, as in government itself or some seriously powerful organization. Makes you think, doesn't it? Really conspiracy theory with aluminium foil hat. One of the most famous stations, called Lincolnshire Poacher, was fully operational from mid-70s to 2008. Okay, let's have a listen to one of the broadcasts from 2006 and you can hear for yourself.
Six, three, six, four, six. 3, 6, 4, 6. 6, 3, 6, 4, 6. 6, 3, 6, 4, 6. 6, 3, 6, 4, 6.
Can you imagine that this station was actively used until 15 years ago? Well, this station is now defunct, but there are plenty of other number stations which are still highly active today. You know, last few years, the world has been, shall we say, turbulent to say the least, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. And note to self, I really should look into YouTube guidelines for what I can say and what I can't say in a video. Well, let's just say that before anything happens, an active conflict, so to speak, lots of oddities usually happen. The chatter increases, so to speak. So imagine this. There are people actively broadcasting those cryptic messages, and there are people actively tuning into those radio stations with pen and papers today. Let the picture sink in for a second, yeah? Is it just me, or does it make you see a scene from an old movie? Like a normal looking guy in a dark room, trying to decipher a secret message, and when he realizes and understands his mission, he looks up. His gaze changes from a regular Joe to Jason Bourne. There's something with all this that fascinates me, something fierce. It feels like you're touching the behind the curtain stuff that you are not supposed to see nor touch. It excites me in a way that I can't put a finger on why. So, what do you think? Leave your opinions in the comment section below. Honestly, wholesomeness, Onion. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Onion, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. 3, 5, 4, 9, 8.